Hey, what's good, right? This is Adnan Rady in the clutch, and just want to talk about more like NBA news, specifically regarding the Heat. Like I mentioned in my last video, how like I do feel like the NBA is targeting against the Heat. Whether it's other GMs or even the league itself, and also regarding you know, the issue with like Pat Riley and like his reputation. Maybe that he's really special and really good, and a big like name that people are afraid to work with him because he knows how to get like the best deals done. And so I have an idea, how to change the narrative, like instead of the Heat becoming targets, this what suggestion what I have, will be able to, turn the Heat's favors around, and like now they will actually have a lot of people who want to work with them. And well, what I mean by that is I do believe that Miami needs to go a little political, in the sense like, what I notice in, the NBA is the past few years, a lot of people, players or GMs especially, talking about, the NBA is a business at the end of the day. And I understand that 100%, like I, studied business in college, having an associate's degree there. And I understand, there's a lot of things going on, whether it's the revenue from the ticket sales, sponsors, from jersey sales, merchandise, food, all kinds of different things. And, there's a lot of expenses, like the lights, the bills, paying the players' salaries or the coaches, and, all these travel expenses. I get that, and also like trying to like, with the salary cap, making sure that, teams are able to, stay within that float, so they're not being charged a major tax, so they don't cut into their bottom line and potentially lose out on money or be in the negative. So I understand that. And so right here, what I get is that like this reminds me so much of politics, like with what's going on. And let me explain, and just a disclaimer, this is not a political video. I'm not, I don't get into politics. It's not my thing. It's a waste of time and my energy. And so this is not what I'm talking about here. What I mean by is the concept, how businesses, it's basically, and politics is basically, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So at the end of the day, like NBA teams as a business, they're trying to like make the most money, and they're trying to get the best deal done for themselves. Sometimes, what they have to do, in order to get there, is they have to make sure that like they have to sacrifice a little to gain a lot, and let me explain. So here's some recent examples with what happened, that, for example, I'm going to talk about the Lakers, and this is what helped them win their 2020 championship. And it took a process, but it was able to pay off in the end. So the Lakers, for example, they're one of the most notorious teams in the NBA, because of how famous they are. And you don't even have to be a basketball fan. You just know the Lakers, whether it's about Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, now LeBron James. Everybody like that, just has any sort of idea about basketball knows the Lakers automatically. The rest of the league knows that. And so the rest of the league like puts a target on the Lakers' back for years. Many teams have been hesitant to make deals with them or trades, and this went a long way. So the Lakers were like, when they went through their struggles in the mid 2010s, when Kobe Bryant was on his decline, rest in peace, by the way, the Lakers were like down and out, especially going after all these free agent signings. They kept swinging for the fences, and they missed out on so many free agents. And so we ended up with LeBron, like it wasn't just like it was so easy to get LeBron, like it took a little bit of process, because if we want to go back, further back in 2018, the Lakers did make a trade with the Cavaliers, so right here, Isaiah Thomas was with the Cavs at the time, and he and LeBron were, long story short, were not a good fit. LeBron was upset, obviously, that Kyrie left, so he got Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was out for a good amount of time, because of his hip injury, came back, didn't play together, wasn't a good fit, they didn't get along, and so the Lakers ended up like bailing the Cavs out by trading Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr. to the Cavs in exchange for Isaiah Thomas. It wasn't a benefit for the Lakers to do this, at the time of the trade specifically itself, but what they thought, LeBron's going to be a free agent that year. He's going to weigh his options. He does have a championship, opportunity with Cleveland as long as he's there. And the Lakers were not a threat at all at the time for any championships. They're still recovering from, the Kobe days, like how ever since he was gone, now the Lakers have been irrelevant. So with that trade, it did entice LeBron to want to come to LA, not only because of the city and how glamorous it is and great for his business opportunities, but also because he remembers the favor they did for him, in getting rid of a player he didn't like. And that went a long way. And so right here, and LeBron also at the same time, he had their general manager David Griffin. When he was let go, LeBron made public comments to support him. Now this is all going to tie back together. So LeBron's in the Lakers now. He needs help. He didn't succeed in his first year. So what LeBron needed was some more help, star player. So what he wanted Anthony Davis. Now David Griffin, who I mentioned, was with the Cavs at the time, when LeBron was there. Now he's with the Pelicans, the same team that Anthony Davis is on. And David Griffin remembered how LeBron was supportive of David Griffin and upset that he lost his job. And so eventually, long story short, everybody knows about Anthony Davis wanting to leave the Pelicans and he wanted to go to the Lakers to play with LeBron. Well, that's exactly what ended up happening. The Pelicans did trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers, exactly what LeBron wanted, and now LeBron got his wish and he ended up winning a championship. Relationships go a long way, and the same thing with politics, from both sides. If one politician helps out another, they'll do favors for each other, whether it's helping out with a law or agreeing on something or setting a deal on the table, whatever the case may be. But there's also an opposite effect. If there's a rivalry between them, there are teams that are willing to sabotage or not make trades. Because previously, talking about the Pelicans and the Lakers, before David Griffin got there was a general manager named Dell Demps. He used to be the original general manager for the Pelicans, and he did not want to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers for nothing. Part of it was because Greg Popovich, who was, basically the head of the Spurs and the Lakers to this day have a major rivalry going on. And he told Dell Demps, do not listen to the Lakers, do not give in, do not trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. And so that eventually cost Dell Demps his job because he wouldn't trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers despite the Lakers having the best offer. I remember they basically offered their whole roster minus LeBron and 1 million draft picks, and he still somehow refused it. So it did cost him his job, but once David Griffin got there, and Griffin remembers, LeBron's support and appreciation for him, he ended up making the deal, getting it done for Anthony Davis, and the Lakers ended up winning the championship. But it all started because the Lakers were willing to sacrifice a little bit to gain a lot and make the right trade, to help out somebody, help out a player. The player comes, the player has a relationship with another guy, that's the general manager. The general manager goes to a specific team that involves another asset because of their history. Now they get a trade done, and then both the team and the player that they worked with previously ended up with a ring. So I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but this does make sense, for anything in business. And so that's what I do believe the Miami Heat need to do in this situation is to create friends, whether it's taking on bad salaries or taking on a disgruntled player, not necessarily for their advantage, but for the relief of another team. So when the time is right, now next time if there's a star player that wants to come to Miami or wants to get traded there, things will be a lot easier. So this formula right here, what I see from the Lakers, all that they did ended up paying off and winning their championship, their first time in 10 years. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys have any ideas, what the Heat can do to change their image around? Do you also believe that business and politics go hand in hand, or is there a different approach? How you think of it? Because I just see all this relationship this 1-for-1 deals, as people, it just reminds me so much about it. And so I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think down below. I certainly love to talk and appreciate with you guys. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I love every single one of you guys, and talk soon.